So our last video was all about the almond butter sauce that we made. So this time I wanted to make the spring rolls, which I referenced in there that we use that dipping sauce with. It's one of the items that we use with that sauce. So I've already prepped our ingredients and we're ready to go. And I just wanted to show you the layout because I pretty much work from the left through to the right. I want to have you're going to want to have a bowl that's deep enough so you could actually immerse the wraps so they can get soft. They'll usually take about 30 seconds. And then we start usually with flat ingredients. So I'll start with the nori and then I'll just lay flat, and then work this way. This time I'm doing the rice vermicelli noodles, but you could do like a sticky rice either way. You could also put shrimp in there if you wanted. You would have to boil them until they were opaque and then slice them in half along the vein. And then you could just put 3 halves for each of your spring rolls, and that would be about the right amount to cover the length. And then I always have some kind of sprouts. I always like cilantro, cabbage. These are our preferred ingredients. And then I just wanted to give you a sample because with the nori, I slice them up into these slices so they'll go well on the spring roll, but they actually come in sheets, and this is the one that I usually like to get. It's actually dried nori. I can usually get it at the grocery store. I know you can order them online too. And then when we're done wrapping each one of them, I lay them on parchment paper here, and then we just grab whatever we want and pack the rest for our lunch the next day. Everything's in order, basically roughly how we're going to be putting them in the wraps. So I start by putting one of these in the water to soak, but I've already started that so you won't have to wait. And it's ready here on my cutting board. Basically, it's pretty good for not sticking. So I spread it out as smoothly as I can, and I start with my nori, then I get carrots and cucumbers because they're pretty flat. I usually get 2 or 3 slices of each, and I try to make an even distribution across both ends. So whoever's biting into it will get a good amount of that ingredient, each one of the ingredients actually. After that, those are the flat ones, so those are the ones that I usually want first, but after that it kind of doesn't really matter. So when I try to take the noodles or the rice, depending on which one I do, and distribute those evenly, I've got my cilantro, I like a good amount of that, a little bit of green onion, get that spread out a little bit, and avocados. Both of these avocados were kind of small, and they had big pits, so I just did 2 of them. And cabbage, those are kind of hard because they get curly and everything, so I try to spread them out as evenly as I can. Hopefully they'll stay in place, but they don't usually. They can be kind of a challenge. And then some sprouts in there. Is that everything? I think that's everything. So here we go with the tough part. Oh, and before I get that rolled, I start my next one and get that soaking. So let's go here. I roll it over and I try to squish everything into as tight a circle as possible. And it usually doesn't agree with me completely, but then I tuck in one side, I flip one side over and stick that, flip another side over and stick that, and then well, it's tearing, which happens. There we go. And that's one. I put it here on the cutting board. I try to stack them in rows here without them sticking, with space in between them anyway, so they don't stick. So, and then I'm just about ready for my next one. And so we'll do a few here. I'll give you a better look at the next one. But what we usually do, we'll eat about 3 each for dinner. So I'm gonna make a total of 12, but we'll do 6 tonight for dinner, and then we'll have 6 for lunch tomorrow. With each of us taking 3. And then I have the almond butter sauce, which is another video which you can see here on my site, and that is the dipping sauce that we usually use. And it's really up to you as how thick or how watery, I guess, liquidy you want it. So that's really up to you. I think in the example I have a semi-thick one in there, but I can't really remember. Anyway, that recipe's already done and loaded, and I hope you like it. So here we go, the next one. I'm bringing that one out. It's soaked to where it's soft. It's not totally soft and falling apart, but it's pretty soft. Let me get that spread out. Spread it out as flat as you can. And for me, it seems to work best on a cutting board, so I always do it on a cutting board. And I start again with the sesame, or with the seaweed, the nori, and then cucumbers, and then carrots, and some cilantro. And I just try to get leaves to where they will fall in every bite, and some onion. And here's my cat having a conversation. She's trying to contribute to the spring roll making, I think. Don't quite have enough there. So, but that was basic, you know, each one of these, it's basically up to you as to how much of the ingredients you're going to want in there. I don't want to get too many in there though, because it makes it harder to wrap. And as you can see, I'm still kind of learning how to get that done well, but that's okay. And some sprouts, spread those out evenly, and some cabbage, again, the curly ones that are hard to stay in place, but it adds a nice crunch to the roll. So here we go again with the wrap. Fold it over. Keep it as tight as you can without tearing it. Oh, and I forgot to put my spring roll in there to get that soaking. Okay. And just roll it to the end. See? Looks like I have a little bit of a hole that poked through with the carrot, but that's not bad. That'll stay in place. But anyway, if you see it, it'll just stay in place. Okay. And I'll do one more. Anyway, they're really good. I like the fact that you've got different textures on here. So like with the cabbage is really crunchy. All of these are obviously very good for you. You've got a collection of nutrients here. The avocados I think are really good in there because it adds a little bit of a creaminess to it. The cabbage adds a crunch, just like the carrots and the cucumbers, but the cucumbers add that slightly unique flavor to it, and I think that's really good. I'm not sure whether I actually prefer the noodles or the rice. They're both good, either way you go. And these are just sprouts. This is a mixture, a rainbow mix that I get at H-E-B's. I get at the grocery store, and I think it's got arugula and broccoli, and you know, it's not a spicy blend, but it is a blend of a bunch of different ones. But you can really go with whatever sprouts you want. And of course, you don't have to, if there's an ingredient here that you don't like, then just don't include it. You can pretty much go with your sprouts being, with your rolls, your wraps including anything you want. The only thing I would be wary of is overstuffing them, because they seem to be harder to roll, at least for me, but I'm still kind of getting in the groove of doing the wrap and rolling it well. So maybe that is less of a problem when you're good at the wrap, the roll, whatever, but I'm still kind of learning that. Anyway, so we'll do one more so you can see it again. I spread it out on here as much as possible, get it open, get my nori, get my carrots. Okay, carrots, cucumbers. And of course you can do as little or as much of each one of these individual ingredients too. You know, if you want more avocado, put more avocado on there. So. Okay, got some noodles. Oops, put some cabbage there. There we go, got everything sprouts and onions. It's kind of hanging out. I don't like them hanging out too far because then it's hard to keep it in with everything. Plus you have this lone bite when you're eating it. So, okay, let's do this. Remember, fold over as tightly as you can make it happen. Roll a little bit to secure it. Flip over on one side. Flip over on the other side, and then roll to your other end. And there you go. See? There's another one. Anyway, they're really good. It's a really light meal. It's great like in the summer months so you don't heat up your house. but they're just so yummy. And then with the dipping sauce, you've got the nut butter in there, so that's a good healthy fat, and it's very filling, and you can make that as spicy or not spicy as you like. We put cayenne in there usually because we like it spicy, but it's really up to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these and have a great day. Bye.